Good evening and welcome to Global Lens News. I'm Sadia Afzal. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the world's most powerful currency is no longer the US dollar. Sounds impossible. Well, just a few years ago, many experts would have said the same thing. But today, a group of countries known as BRICS is openly challenging the financial system that has dominated the world for nearly 8 years. The question is no longer whether they want to challenge the dollar. The real question is, can they actually succeed? And if they do, what happens to the United States and global trade? Stay with me because the answer may surprise you. For decades, the US dollar has been the king of global finance. Around the world, countries buy oil in dollars, trade goods in dollars, borrow money in dollars, and keep their reserves in dollars. In fact, the dollar is so powerful that even when two countries have nothing to do with America, they often use the dollar to trade with each other. But how did this happen? To understand the future, we first need to understand the past. After World War II, much of Europe and Asia lay in ruins. The United States emerged as the strongest economy on earth. In 1944, leaders from around the world gathered in Bretton Woods and designed a new financial system. Under this system, the US dollar became the center of global trade and finance. Over time, the dollar became the world's reserve currency. This gave America enormous advantages. The United States could borrow money more cheaply, it could impose financial sanctions on rivals, and it gained tremendous influence over the global economy. For decades, nobody seriously challenged the system. Then came BRICS. BRICS originally consisted of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Today, the group has expanded and now includes several new members and partners from the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Together, BRICS represents a massive share of the world's population, natural resources, and economic output. And many of these countries have one common concern. They believe the global financial system is too dependent on the United States. Now, let's be clear. This isn't simply about economics. It's also about power. Who controls the world's money often has significant influence over the world's politics, and many countries are becoming uncomfortable with that reality. The turning point came after Western sanctions on Russia following the Ukraine conflict. When Russian banks were restricted from parts of the international financial system, many governments began asking themselves a difficult question. If it happened to Russia today, could it happen to us tomorrow? That concern accelerated efforts to reduce dependence on the dollar. This process has a name, de-dollarization, and it has become one of the most discussed topics in global finance. China has increased trade settlements using its own currency, the yuan. Russia has expanded non-dollar trade with several partners. India has explored settlements in local currencies. Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states have discussed alternative payment mechanisms. The message is clear. More countries want options. But does wanting alternative mean the dollar is in danger? Not necessarily. Because replacing the dollar is much harder than criticizing it. Let's look at why. A global reserve currency requires trust. Not just trust from one country, trust from the entire world. Investors need deep financial markets. Governments need stability. Businesses need predictability. And central banks need confidence that their reserves will remain secure. The dollar currently offers all of these advantages. America possesses the world's largest financial markets. US Treasury bonds are considered among the safest assets on earth. The dollar is accepted virtually everywhere. And perhaps most importantly, people trust that they can buy and sell dollar-denominated assets whenever they want. This creates a powerful network effect. The more people use the dollar, the more useful it becomes. And the more useful it becomes, the more people continue using it. Breaking that cycle is extremely difficult. Now, let's examine BRICS. The bloc is powerful, but it also faces challenges. China and India have border disputes. Different members have different economic priorities. Political systems vary significantly, and there is no unified BRICS central bank. No single BRICS currency currently exists. No equivalent of the US Treasury market exists, and no common financial infrastructure yet matches the scale of the existing dollar-based system. This doesn't mean BRICS will fail. It simply means the process will be long and complicated. Many headlines suggest a BRICS currency is just around the corner. The reality is more nuanced. Most experts believe BRICS is currently focused on increasing trade in national currencies rather than immediately launching a single currency. In other words, the goal may not be to destroy the dollar. The goal may be to reduce dependence on it. And that distinction matters. Because the future may not belong to one currency alone. Instead, we may be moving toward a more multipolar financial world. A world where the dollar remains important but shares space with other currencies. Think about it like this. For decades, the United States was the only superpower. Today, multiple powers influence global affairs. The financial world could evolve in a similar way, whether trade occurs in dollars, yuan, rupees, or another currency. Strong economic fundamentals will remain essential. So is the dollar about to collapse? Probably not, at least not anytime soon. Despite all the headlines, the dollar remains deeply embedded in the global economy. It still dominates international reserves, trade settlements, and financial markets. But something important is changing. For the first time in decades, major countries are actively building alternatives. The world is gradually experimenting with new financial arrangements. And even if those alternatives don't replace the dollar completely, they could reduce its dominance over time. This is why the BRICS story matters. It's not necessarily the story of the dollar's immediate downfall, it's the story of a changing world. A world where economic power is becoming more distributed. A world where countries want greater flexibility. And a world where the rules of global finance may look very different 20 years from now. The battle between the US dollar and BRICS is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And we are still in the early stages. The dollar remains the heavyweight champion, but for the first time in a long time, new challenges have entered the ring. Whether they can truly reshape the global financial system remains one of the biggest questions of the 21st century. What do you think? Will the US dollar remain king for the next 50 years, or will BRICS eventually create a new financial order? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.